Hey everyone, so welcome back to my vlog again. And now I want to talk about something that every person experience in life at some point. What is that? That's change. You know, honestly, change is a strange thing. Sometimes people want to change badly. New life, new environment, a better version of themselves, new opportunities. But at the same time, many people are also deeply afraid of change. Even when their current situation is making them unhappy. And honestly, I think that fear is very human. Yeah, because change means uncertainty, and uncertainty makes people uncomfortable. One thing I realize is that humans naturally becomes attached to familiarity. Even painful situations can start feeling safe simply because they are familiar of that. People stay in unhealthy routines, stay in situations that no longer make them happy, stay connected to things they already outgrew. Not always because they want to, but because change feels so risky. And honestly, starting over can feel terrifying sometimes. Another thing about change is that it forces people to leave out version of themselves behind. And honestly, that can feel emotional. Sometimes change means outgrowing friendship. Change means mindset, losing habits, leaving comfort zones, and even when those changes are necessary, they can still hurt emotionally. Because people become attached not only to others, but also to memories, routines, and identity. I think many people secretly fear becoming a familiar version of themselves, because at least the old version feels known. Another reason people fear change is because nobody can fully predict the outcome. What if? What if things become worse? What if we fail? What if we regret the decision later? And honestly, overthinking those possibilities can stop people from moving forward. Sometimes fear keeps people emotionally frozen, just stuck, even when deep inside they know they need change. I also think social pressure affect how people deal with change. Sometimes people want to change career, lifestyle, friendship, or goals, but they become afraid of disappointing others. Family expectation, society opinions, fear of judgments, and honestly, living according to other people's expectation can become emotionally exhausting because eventually people start losing connection with what they truly want for themselves. Another strange thing about change is that people other only appreciate growth after surviving difficult transition. During change, life feels uncomfortable, confusing, unstable, emotional. But later, many people look back and realize those uncomfortable moments help them grow the most. And honestly, I think some of the biggest personal growth happens during uncertain periods. Even though those moments feel difficult while experiencing them. Another thing I notice is that change often begins quietly. Sometimes people slowly lose interest in things they once loved, and sometimes their mindset changes little by little. Sometimes they become emotionally tired of repeating the same cycle, and eventually something inside them realizes, I cannot say the same forever. And honestly, I think that realizations can feel both scary and powerful. I also realized that people often romanticizes stability while forgetting that life naturally changes constantly. People change, feelings change, dreams change, situations change, everything changes in this world, bro. Nothing truly stays exactly the same forever. And honestly, trying to control everything only creates more stress sometimes. Because because life continue moving whether we feel ready or not. Another difficult part about change is letting go. Letting go of people, old habits, past identities, version of life we once imagined. And honestly, letting go is painful because humans naturally hold on to emotional familiarity. Even memories can become comfort zone, but sometimes growth requires releasing things that no longer fit who we are becoming. And honestly, that process can feel lonely sometimes. I think many people experience silent periods of transformations, moments where they feel disconnected from their old self, but not fully connected their new self yet. And honestly, that in between stage feels confusing. You feel different emotionally, your mindset change, your priorities shift, but you still do not fully understand who you are becoming. And honestly, I think many people are quietly going through that right now. Another thing about change is that it often reveals who truly support us. Some people support our growth, others only feel comfortable with the old version of us. And honestly, that realizations can hurt, of course, because not everyone grows in the same direction together. Sometimes people naturally drift apart, not because anyone is bad, but just simply because life changes people differently. I also think change teach emotional courage. Not the low type of courage, but the quiet courage of connecting forward even while feeling uncertain. Trying new things despite fear, living unhealthy situation despite attachment, starting again despite doubt. And honestly, that kind of courage deserve appreciations because change is emotionally exhausting sometimes. I'm tired. Another thing, another thing I've learned is that people usually grow the most after periods of discomfort. Comfort zone feels safe, but staying there forever can stop emotional growth. Sometimes people only discover live strange after being forced into unfamiliar situations. And honestly, many beautiful things in life begin after uncomfortable beginnings. New friendship, new opportunities, new confidence, new perspective. But like reaching those things usually requires change first. Another people thing is that people often miss all passes of life even when those passes were difficult. Because our memories become softer over time. And honestly, humans are emotional creatures. We miss people, we miss moments, we miss version of ourselves. especially me. I miss everything. Even when moving forward is necessary, I also realize that like change is not always dramatic. Sometimes it just happens slowly, like step by step, little by little, but quietly. You suddenly react differently to situations. Your mindset become calm, you stop caring about the things that once control your emotion, just like giving a fuck. And one day you realize you are no longer the same person you used to be. And honestly, I think that kind of growth is beautiful. That's so beautiful, I think. Another thing about change is learning that not every ending is failure. That's not, of course. Sometimes endings are simply transition. And some chapters end because people outgrow them. And honestly, accepting endings is part of emotional maturity too. Not everything is meant to last forever. Some experiences are only meant to teach lessons before life moves forward again. I think many people, a lot of people just fear change because they associate uncertainty with danger. But honestly, uncertainty also, like, how to say it? Yeah, creates possibility. New experience, new healing, new beginnings, and without change, people might never discover part of themselves they were meant to become. Yeah, like that, bro. Anjay. Yeah, like that. And I just noticed is that people often wait for the perfect time. Always gonna be perfect. I know everyone's gonna be perfect. Wanna be perfect, and me too. I also wanna be perfect before changing something in their lives. We just fear after risk. The perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect confidence, but honestly, perfect timing is so difficult, like rarely to access, bro. Just be like, hey, come on, just live in our real life. Like that's so rare to access, like perfect timing. No one is perfect in this world. That's so hard to find, like perfect thing, especially for the timing. Sometimes growth begins when people decide to move forward, even while feeling afraid. And honestly, bravery is not always feeling fearless. Sometimes bravery simply means continuing despite uncertainty. I also realized that change can feel emotionally lonely because not everyone understands our journey. My lips, that's it, right. Shit. I also realized, like, sometimes people that change, they do not understand. They only remember the old version of us and expect us to stay the same forever. But honestly, humans are supposed to evolve, bro. We are the evolved creatures in this world. We start evolved. Experience change people, and pain change people, growth change people, and that is natural. Another difficult thing about change is patience. People want immediately result, immediate healing, immediate success, immediate clarity. But real growth usually happens slowly. Sometimes the process, the progress, that just invisible at first. But yeah, honestly, that can feel frustrating, especially during moments when life feels uncertain. But I think slow growth is still meaningful growth. Even tiny emotional progress that matters. Everything matters. So yeah, maybe that's for today, and I want to end this vlog. So bye bye.